Well, folks, the stock closing today at 8% and kind of flirting again with the 18. Maybe we are in the, the hedge at the eve. We're kind of witnessing what we call a reversal, or the technical people will call it a cup and handle. When the stock price hit a certain level and then goes back down before, creeping back up to reach maybe a new or a higher price before the way down. Maybe, this whole thing is based on expectations from the earnings AMC is going to report tomorrow, August 4th. But when I look at where the market is currently sitting, when I look at what the IMAX CEO said a couple of days ago, plus the earnings expectations for tomorrow on AMC, we might see a little bit of run up into this. Maybe not necessarily tomorrow. I'm not definitely holding my breath on that because we all know what we're dealing with. Because this could also be really and clearly an option trap, as we saw many times before. But this is really what is interesting and I want to share with you. The IMAX CEO says that movie theater business is smoking following the pandemic. He also says the China box office close to turning point, emphasizes the movies are back. Now, when you take that into consideration, all right, this is published August 1st. If you take this into consideration, if from the IMAX company, which is kind of I don't want to say competitor, but also another player, big player in the same sector with AMC as companies, if they see getting this out of this pandemic, movie theater business is smoking, it clearly means that the business or the theory that the short sellers used to bring this down is definitely not working anymore, all right? It's not coming from AMC. It's not coming from a movie theater operator. It's coming from the IMAX company, which is also a big player in this sector, as I mentioned earlier. So it's a good sign that earnings can continue to grow based from here. So AMC is scheduled to report its second quarter 22 results on August 4th. We don't know yet if it's going to be prior to the market opening or it's going to be after hours. But as you can see here, the earnings call is going to be after hours. So I'm guessing it's going to be after hours. The stock is already up 1.4% after hours, breaking that 18, flirting with that $18.5 a share. But if I take these news, if I take this comment, if I also take where the market is currently sitting, because if you look at the last, couple of weeks ago, the market is clearly on the rebound. And this is based on news coming from companies that are already disclosing earnings, but also on the fact that commodities are kind of on the way back down, which means that inflation may have peaked. That all means that, the Federal Reserve may not be as aggressive as people think, and actually might be at the end of the interest rate hikes. This will mean that the money sitting on the sideline will be flowing back into the stock market, because even with the 14% up since the last month in the market, we are still very in the lows, in high discount, because people are kind of waiting in the sidelines to see how things will unfold, especially after this season earnings. Guess what? AMC is part of that high rater kind of play. Why? Because not only the short sellers have been losing a ton of money, all right, because not all of the tech, which are the favorite sectors in their positions, have recovered, all right. They are still kind of very trashed at this point. But also crypto is still not going back up to a certain level. So the money that have been pooled on stocks, on crypto, and that is what is happening with the recent market, people are kind of waiting on the sideline to see, okay, where do I need to put my money if this whole recession fears is smoothing out? Definitely AMC is one of it. That's why I do believe the very fact that we have some hedge funds that have been pounding and doubling down on their AMC positions, buying 400%, 200%, 150%. It's a clear sign that people are waiting on these earnings to show or to get some sort of signal to start triggering the gun. And this obviously can cause another short squeeze on the option chain, because some of the shorts will get cut up in the middle, So these are all speculations because for sure, nobody knows exactly what is going to happen. But I wouldn't be surprised if as we get these earnings, we can see a run up. I also wouldn't be surprised if we don't see anything and we see instead a sell off because it's AMC, right? What can surprise you? Especially if you have been here 2 years like us.